Tonight on KSL Outdoors. Nice, I saw that one. I'm here on the Provo River with master angler Lance Egan, getting a lesson on how to fish European style. Whoa, I saw the flash.
Nice.
I'm Mickey Anderson, filling in for Adam Eagle, and this is KSL Outdoors.
KSL Outdoors with Adam Eagle is brought to you by your local Ford stores.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to KSL Outdoors. I'm Mickey Anderson, your host for this week's edition of KSL Outdoors. Hey Adam, I've always wondered how you can be in two places at once. Now we know, and I'm glad we got the good version. We're here on the Provo River today to try a little bit of European style nymphing. I couldn't think of anyone better than to learn from than one of the world's best, the legend, and my friend, Lance Egan. Hey Lance.
Hey Mick, how are you?
Great. Hey, where are we?
We're on the Provo, middle Provo to be exact. Hopefully we can talk a little bit about European style nymphing and teach the viewers about this newish technique.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different components to it, and I want to show all that and how to rig it up.
Perfect. Let's go give it a whirl and tie a few knots.
Nice. Some of the components of Eurofishing are longer rods, tiny fly lines, and really long leaders. Now these leaders you might need to build yourself, and there's a trick to all this, and it's called the sighter. It's a fluorescent piece of line that's added to your leader. And to make it easier to tie a tiny tippet to it, I'm going to go to a tippet ring right on the end of the sighter, and this piece of tippet is going to be up to 6 feet. But Lance, why do you need 6 feet of tippet?
We want to reduce the influence of the surface currents on our rig, so we like lots of thin tippet so that everything that contacts the water and extends through the water column is extremely thin.
Let's get rigged up and go.
Perfect, let's do it.
Man, the river looks great. Where do you want to go?
Good question. There's a bunch of midges out. What do you think? Should we hit this little drop right here?
Perfect.
So one of the things we do with Euro nymphing is we tie flies on tag ends off the main line so it's hanging freely rather than tying eye to bend for the second fly. I'm going to start with a little golden stonefly nymph on my top and then a little bit lighter Frenchy style fly as my point fly. I find most of the time we as fly fishers tend to overthink our fly selection rather than just going with confidence flies. It's more important to cover the water properly and get a good drift, fish the right pieces of water than it is selecting the right fly. The right fly can make a difference, but presentation always trumps fly pattern. There's a little guy.
Nice.
Just a little brown, but he ate the Frenchie. Nice little brown trout, first of the day. Beautiful little wild fish.
Yeah, there's 3 different ways to find out what type of insects are in the water, and one of the most reliable is to actually pump the stomach of the fish and see what they've been eating.
Let's get him back.
See what we got.
So we have a couple of little midge pupa. If you want to match the hatch right now, what they're focused on is little cream midge pupa. Sorry, midge larva. I call them pupa the whole way through.
Nice.
Looks like we found our friendly neighborhood whitefish. We've got a nice deep bend in the rod. It's protecting the tippet. It appears as though I'm applying a lot of pressure because the rod is really bent, but in reality it's just a long light rod that keeps us from breaking off. This whitefish ate our Frenchie again. It's a good thing I changed back. Whitefish are a much maligned species. They're a native fish. They take a fly well. A lot of people think that they infest the rivers and they're not good for fisheries. In reality, they're quite good for the ecosystem. They're designed to be here. If nothing else, take this away from today. Treat your local whitefish with some respect. All right, let's get this whitefish back in. They're just solid muscle. Thanks, Mr. Whitey. You ready to jump in? So I'm watching for the bow and the line, the sighter as we call it, as in eyesight. It's just a colored piece of monofilament, and I'm tracking it just above the surface. Anytime it stops, hesitates, does anything unnatural to the current in which my flies are in, I'm gonna give it a quick hook set.
Like that.
Nicely done.
So just at the end of it, just give it a little twitch,
Animate.
a swing. And, I mean, we already fished through that run.
Little brownie. Nicely done.
Another one of my giant fish. Let's let him go. We'll send it back to Adam in the station for tonight's climate quiz question.
Early settlers named the Provo River after trapper Etienne Provost. But our climate quiz question is, what did the Ute Indians call the river before it was renamed by settlers? Now, once you know the answer, log on to our KSL Outdoors Facebook page, give us the correct answer, and while you're at it, give us a like. We'll then randomly select and announce a winner on our page the following week. The winner set to walk away with a Climate Static V sleeping pad. Climate, comfortable, rugged, and lightweight. And our answer to last week's question, which was, can you identify the 5 counties whose boundaries include a portion of the Great Salt Lake? The counties are Davis, Tooele, Box Elder, Salt Lake, and Weber counties. KSL Outdoors, powered by Ford. We'll be right back on the river with Lance and Mickey.
KSL Outdoors is also brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, Fish Tech Outfitters, Utah State Parks, Burt Brothers, Climate, Intermountain Wind and Solar, King's Camo, and Camp Chef.
You seem to be setting the hook a lot. Is there a penalty for setting too many times?
No, we say set it, don't regret it.
See, it is easy. You hook pretty good.
Yeah. In the top with a Frenchie. This little brownie and a Frenchie. Little 60-degree barbless jig hook right in the jaw. Beautiful little wild fish. This section of the Provo has lots of small fish, which makes for fun fishing. There are the occasional large fish, but lots of these we hope to share with you as we teach you a little bit about European nymphing.
You know, you just did something that is one of the biggest misconceptions in this style of fishing, and that's that you can't fish very far away, but you're throwing a pretty good cast.
Yeah, with a long, light leader, it allows us to fish fairly far away. The long rod helps with that too, to keep the leader off the water. If you're rigged with too short of a leader, then you do have to fish really close. But if you fish a nice long leader, you can fish it out quite a ways. There's still obviously some limitations, but it's not as limited as most people might think. I got one. Nice little rainbow. All right, nice little rainbow here. This is a lake fish. In the spring and fall, we get a few of these rainbows that come up out of Deer Creek Reservoir in the middle Provo. You can tell he's a lake fish, he's a little beat up. It's also a stocked fish. You can tell because it doesn't have his pectoral fins, they've been rubbed down to next to nothing. But still fun to catch. Let's get him back in the river.
All right, Lance, a couple more misconceptions of fishing this style. First is, are you actually pulling that line down? Are you pulling it when you're moving it, or are you just moving it with the speed of the line?
Yeah, the latter. I like to call it just keeping up with the current. We're not trying to pull the flies faster than the current. That would be, counterintuitive to the way that fish feed, right? As you know, they hang near the bottom and they let the current feed them. So we want our flies drifting as near to that speed of current as possible. So I'm just trying to keep up with the flies so that I have contact with them for strike detection. Using the slight sag in my leader to kind of create a little bit of tension, and then just moving the rod downstream at the same speed as the current. We're attempting to eliminate the handicap of the indicator. The indicator's handicap is that it's always being towed at surface speed. The way to counteract that, of course, is to put lots of weight on. Then you get the indicator being towed too fast and the weight slowing it down. But then you have flies that are going too fast, too slow, too fast, too slow. However, with this, I think we get a better presentation in that we don't have anything tethered to the surface. Our flies are down deep. The sider, the thicker part of our leader, is off the water, and nothing but, in this case, 5X tippet is actually contacting the water.
Nice.
Subtle take. Another little brownie. Nice little brownie. Get on the Frenchie. Get him back. This is called the Frenchie. Little hot spot nymph. Doesn't really imitate anything in particular, just looks buggy, has a little pink hot spot, easy to tie, gets down well, fish like it.
While I'm out here working on the river, let's send it back to PJ in the store for tonight's Fish Tech Tip of the Week.
Hi, this is PJ at Fish Tech with this week's fishing tip. We're upon winter and this is one of my favorite times to go fishing. When you do go in the winter time, a lot of times you'll encounter midges. And a lot of the nymphing we do will involve sow bugs. Not only do I think sow bugs imitate what they're actually supposed to imitate, but they also are really good dead eggs. The other one would be the midges. First, you're gonna get the larval stage, then you're gonna get your emergers, then you're gonna get your adults, and then we're gonna come to the mating clusters. Okay, now I wanna talk about some of the ways I'll fish with these midges. The first is I'll just deep nymph. Up top, a lot of times I'll put a sow bug as an attractor and a little midge below that. Sometimes when you get out there, you'll notice you'll see fish rising. Good trick I found is to use a dry fly kind of as your indicator, and then an unweighted little midge pupa, so it just barely gets below the surface. Sometimes I'll just use an indicator, a small indicator with 2 little midge larvae below. And then last is when they're actually taking dry flies, and that's our favorite. When that's the case, you know, these little dries are so small that I'll actually use 2 dry flies, one that I can see and then my little guy behind it. For tips like these or any other questions, please come down to Fish Tech now for tonight's fishing line.
You know, in the winter, everybody thinks about midge fishing, and all I can focus on are little bitty flies and little teeny insects. This is what we just found. We screened the river just for a couple seconds. Look at the size of these sculpins, and check out the stones. They're monsters. We got a green drake, that's about halfway grown. Look at the size of the caddis. There's so many big caddis. Lots of little stones, lots of sallies. There are a lot of big things to fish. Now we pumped the stomach to get some samples. I screened the river. This screen is still alive with stuff. And I gutted a fish. This is the stomach contents of a gutted fish. There's a lot of cased caddis and a lot of midges. Nice, I saw that one. So winter is important for midges, but that's not the only thing you should use. And most of our fish were on big flies today.
True, yeah, we caught a lot of fish on larger flies, you know, 16s, 14s.
There we go.
Look at that, nicely done. You can fish small and catch fish, but you don't have to fish small. The other thing that's important, I think, in here this time of year are the eggs. We found a few eggs just in the rocks. Really important food source for the trout this time of year.
Heavy on the little.
Hey.
Sounded like a laugh.
Off he goes. Fish. Oh, came loose. It's probably best to leave the brown trout alone when they're spawning, but there are lots of fish downstream in the runs, in the riffles, that will eat an egg pattern. With the European rig, we don't use any split shot or sinkers. We just use weighted flies. So you're basically just changing to a heavier fly pattern. The benefit there is that we don't have weight that we're in direct contact with. In this case, the weight is our flies, so we have much better strike detection, and we can stay in contact with our weights because they're the flies throughout the drift. So I'm going to do what we call floating the sider. So I'm going to be making shorter drifts. Right now I'm just casting to the edge of the drop off. It stays quite shallow for a ways. And I'm floating the sider, the colored part of my leader is on the surface, and I'm watching for it to just stop or hesitate, do anything, again, unnatural to the current, just like I would if it was up in the air, but in this case it's floating on the surface. This allows me to fish a little further away, which in this shallow of water is pretty crucial. The fish won't tolerate me getting right on top of them in here. I'm still taking up a little slack, and again, just watching for those flies to touch bottom, or hopefully touch the mouth of a fish.
Whoa, I saw the flash.
Nice.
I saw him flash on and I thought, why don't I sat?
Nicely done. German or Scottish?
Why, yes, it is. Man, it has been a great day fishing, even ending with a double.
Double Rooski.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thanks for the opportunity, Mick. It's been a lot of fun fishing with you. It's been a long time since we've wet a line together.
It really has been. Hopefully it won't be as long till the next time.
True.
Hey, if you'd like to know a little more about European-style nymphing, come on into Fish Tech and see me, or go see Lance at Fly Fish Food. There's a lot more coming up on the show, but let's send it back to Adam for today's field guide.
For tonight's field guide, we thought we'd give you a few ideas on how to get your family outdoors for the holidays. One of the most fun is a sleigh ride through the Elk up at Hardware Ranch, WMA. The rides are offered Friday through Monday. The price is $5 for adults, $3 for kids 4 through 8, and kids 3 and under are free. The sleigh rides are part of the Elk Festival celebrated at the ranch. Hardware Ranch is located 15 miles east of Hiram, up Blacksmith Fork Canyon in Cache County. Or how about taking some time to learn a new hobby? Sportsman's Warehouse in Vernal and the Division of Wildlife Resources are teaming up to host a free ice fishing clinic for beginners. The clinic will go over how to ice fish at local northeastern Utah reservoirs. They'll have instruction on basic ice fishing, ice safety, lure selection, and they'll also have a drawing at the end of the clinic. You must register prior to the event. You can find the link by going to our Outdoors calendar page. You'll find on our Outdoors website at ksltv.com, or you can find it on the DWR's website at wildlife.utah.com.
There's another advantage to European-style nymphing. You don't get ice in the guides on a cold day like this. Let's see how long the cold's gonna last by sending it back to the guys and gals in the weather department. Yeah, I really love fishing in the winter. A lot of times you got the whole river to yourself. If fishing's not your thing, maybe there's something on our calendar page that you might like. Go to the calendar page at ksltv.com. Hey Lance, another nice fish. Hey, next time you're out with your family and friends, make some memories with some gorgeous browns like this. Let's send it back to Adam for this week's Snapshot of the Week.
We kick it off with some old friends spending some valuable time in the marsh. Thanksgiving weekend brought Jeff Adams and his buddies together in hopes of filling 5 swan tags. They ended up filling 4 of 5, all the while enjoying some of the finest sunsets and sunrises imaginable. A great memory for this group of buddies. Thanks to SFW and many other volunteers, Cade says they now have pheasant hunting in their valley again. Cade and his son Brecken were able to harvest several birds this year, and Brecken was able to complete another token on his Upland Game Slam. Cade says starting them young and making memories like this is what hunting is all about. Quinn Woodmansey found some elk on his annual Thanksgiving road trip. Before the big feast, Quinn was up early in the morning on the Wasatch Range. He found a large group of cows and some pretty big bulls that made it through this year's hunts. 19-year-old Michaela Tasker drew out a late-season Manti Any Bull tag with only 2 points. Michaela missed a nice 6-point early in the hunt and had to get back to her studies at SUU. On her last full day of hunting, Michaela spotted this 330 class 5x6 and made a great shot to claim this beautiful bull. But our winner tonight caught 2 bucks in the throes of the rut right off the road. Annie Langston sent us the video she says her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend captured right below their home in Woodland Hills. If you listen or look closely, you can hear and see a group of turkeys chiming in as the bucks fight through the neighborhood. A cool video, and now your daughter and her boyfriend Annie take home our big prize for having the snapshot and the video of the week. Remember, submit your pictures or video plus an explanation of your latest outdoor adventures online at ksltv.com. The winner each week wins the new Striker multi-fuel backpacking stove that can be fueled by propane or butane. Plus, the winner is also entered into our Ford Trucks quarterly Facebook giveaway for a Camp Chef pellet grill.
You know, I absolutely love my Camp Chef pellet grill. I use it twice a week, and if you've always wanted one, now is the time to get one. This holiday season, Camp Chef is offering $100 off their DLX model. So get down to Sportsman's Warehouse and get yours today.
Hey, that was a ton of information today. We learned from a great coach. Lance, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, if you didn't pick up on all that, pick up this video that Lance and Devin Olson did. They did a fantastic job on Euro nymphing. It's called Modern Nymphing. You can pick that up at Fish Tech and at Lance's place, Fly Fish Foods. Hey, I'm Mickey Anderson with Flat Adam. Lance, wow!
Hey.
You guys said the Weber River.
Isn't this the Weaver?
Did you guys have a good time? We had a great time. Caught a lot of fish. Lance is an unbelievable coach.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
what a
I've
fun
been
way to fish.
sucking my thumb actually on the couch because there's no way I could have been on the river today. So
Dang.
thanks guys for coming out and co-hosting the show. I really appreciate it.
We're glad we could help you too.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
cool.
So from all of us at KSL, good night.